Hi, welcome to my channel, Kaylee Creations. I'm Kay, and I have this summer album to share with you. I made this to go with the summer banner I created for the Paper Bunny Las Vegas. So I will put a link to the banner in the description box below. And I have a lot of the same elements on this album as I do on the banner, like these flip-flops here. And so I will do a quick tutorial at the end of this video to teach you how to make the flip-flops. So I have made this album with a flexible or a soft spine. It's super easy to do. I have a basic album tutorial, and so I will put a link to that as well below. And then I will also, at the end of this video, have a quick walkthrough of the measurements and everything so that if you wanted to create this particular album, you can do that. And so anyway, I have used the Echo Park paper collection and it's just absolutely too cute. I love the pool people. So this is from one of those banner strips on the 12 by 12 paper, and this is just a little sign here that I cut out from one of the journaling cards, and they have a brad collection that goes, or a package of brads that goes with the collection, and so they have these cute little um, brads here with the decorative scenes on them, and then they have the pearlized little brads, and they have some jewel tone brads, which I don't have in this album. But anyway, so just lots of fun elements, and so anyway, this was really fun to make, and so I do have the spine tucked in underneath the covers, and I do show you how to do that in my tutorial. And I've got the ribbon that's peeking out here that I've got it tied on the back, and I have a little sticker here on the back that says good times and tan lines. So that is the cover. This album is 5.5 by 7.5 with a 2.25 inch spine. So this first page opens up with a pocket on the left, and it's just a basic pocket, and I did pop this strip up here just to give it some dimension with that pom-pom trim. And love the journaling cards. I have two 4x4s here, so I can put pictures on the back. I can tuck more pictures in. I can add a journaling spot on the back if I want. Just really cute papers. And so I have this little photo mat here, and this is one of two that are exposed on the page. Most of the places for photos are tucked behind or in something, and so this little flip out here is held down with this string wrapped around this brad, and you lift that up, and there's room for a 3x3 picture or a 3x4. And I have supplemented this album with craft paper because I thought it just went really well. And you could hardly tell the difference between this journaling card and the craft paper that I used. So I think it went really well. And then I have made this little booklet here that I have glued onto the page. And so you just untie the strings here, which came untied already. And there's room for two 4x6 photos. And these little flip flops here are from the Puffy sticker package. And there were some printed on flip flops underneath there, but I just wanted to add some dimension and color, so I thought that was really fun. And these flip flops here are from the Jolie's. I know you can get those, like those sticker packages at Michael's and Hobby Lobby and places like that. But I've had these little flip flops in my stash forever, so that I thought that was really fun to add those there. And so this pocket holds another little 4x6 booklet. And then there is also a pack of solid color papers, which I've used the blue background here, and I've used it here. So that's really nice. And so there's a different color on each side of the paper. So that's really cool. And it's just nice to have the solid papers to go with the collection because they match perfectly and you don't have to worry about finding the cardstock that matches. And so it's a really fun idea. And so I've got this little sticker scene mounted onto this blue paper and then onto this little craft paper fold out. And so on the stickers, there's a 12 by 12 sheet and there's a sticker book. And so I've used both. So the sticker book comes with a ton of stickers and there's two of each page. And I mean, I didn't even use half the stickers between this album and the banner. So lots and lots of stickers, you guys. And so that was really fun to do. And so this just opens up with a magnet. And here's one of the little border stickers. And then room for 3x4 photos here, or maybe a trimmed down 4x4 photo. And this is, so I popped all these stickers. Well, I didn't pop that one, this one here, but most of the people, the pool people, I popped up. And so I just used either foam or chipboard to do that. And then these little cute little glasses here, I just cut out onto some paper. So I could put it on this little fold out here, and this opens up to the right, and there's room for, you know, maybe a 4x5, 4x4 photo here. And this was fun. So I have a little belly, well, it's not a little belly band, it's actually a wide belly band. Love the sandcastle paper. And I just put this 3x4 card on here as a decorative piece with this little popsicle sticker popped up. And this book slides out, and another little journaling card on the front of this booklet for 4x6 photos, and just some stickers to add interest to the back here. And then I made another smaller set of flip-flops. This is the size that I used on the banner that I made. And I just thought it would be fun to do it in yellow, just really fun. And I love the bright oranges and yellows and pinks with the pastel peaches and greens. I think it's just a really fun color combination. And then you have the dark blue to kind of ground that and add some detail to the colors. So it's just beautiful colors in this collection. Really happy with it. And so this little starfish I mounted onto some craft foam and just cut it out with a little bit showing around the edges just to give it some dimension. And so I thought that was really fun. And so this opens up and there is a place to tuck, you know, some larger pictures like a 5x7 or a 4x6 here, or even, you know, some smaller ones too. And then this pocket holds a couple more journaling cards, and so I can add photos on the back or journaling spots. And I wanted a place to set this bucket list card so I could pull it out and write on it. So I did need a little pocket for that. And this is my one little boo-boo. You can see how this is tilting around either way. And so this is the other spot where I've used the solid paper as a photo mat. So I can place a photo mat here, or a photo here if I choose to. I don't know if I will, but I can. And then I just put a magnet back here to stick that on underneath the popsicle here. But I should have put a magnet here and then here instead of just in the middle. Then it wouldn't have tilted right and left all the time. But oh well, live and learn, right? And then I have this flip out here. I wanted to make this look like kind of a frame, and I just really think this turned out cute. And I love the flamingo floaties. So I have a bunch of these, you know, the small ones, because my daughter had a flamingo themed bridal shower, and so at everybody's place setting we had these little flamingo floaties with a pineapple cup, and oh my gosh, it all turned out so cute. And so anyway, those are, I really love this image here. I think that they made this little flamingo floaty is just so cute. And so this opens up and we have a 4x4 journaling card, and this little tag was cut out from one of the 3x4 journaling cards. And then there's a couple of 2x2s within the papers too. So I think that was fun. And so anyway, that just is held down with a magnet. And so that is my uh, summer album. So if you're going to keep watching, that's great. If you're going to leave now, I would appreciate it if you would hit the like button below. And if you would like to join me for my upcoming projects, then hit the little notification bell below, and I will catch you guys next time. All right, thank you so much for watching. Bye. So I decided just to do a voiceover on the tutorial that I did for the paper bunny banner. And so what I did is I just freehanded the flip-flops. But you certainly could use a cutting machine with a pattern. And so I'm going to give you the measurements for the flip-flops. The smaller one is 1 3/8 by 3 1/2. And so if you just use those dimensions and use a flip-flop that you like, you'll get that. The bigger one, mine is 1 3/4 by 5 inches. I don't like the proportions of it. I did it by freehand. I wasn't at home. I was trying to quickly get it done. And so I don't really like it. It's a little bit long for me. So I would do maybe 1 3/4 by 4 3/4, or maybe make it just a little bit wider than 1 3/4. And you don't want it too much wider because it's not going to fit on the width of the album, but you definitely can go smaller. So whichever way you want to do it, whether you want to find a pattern that you like and copy it and print it out, cut it out, trace it, um, do it by freehand or use your cutting machine. Either way, I recommend just doing a template. Now, if you're doing a cut on your machine, just take away the strap portion that you would cut out to glue onto the flip flop. Just take that away and just cut out the base of the flip flop. And so what I did is I made some marks onto my template, and on the small one, and you're gonna trace about 1/4 inch lines on your flip flops. And so from the top, it's going to be approximately 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch from the top. Make a 1/4 inch line, and then 1/8 of an inch from the sides. And those are going to be approximately on the small one, approximately 3 7/8 to 4 inches down from the top. Um, and 1/8 inch from in on the sides. And then your tall one, it's going to be about 3/8 of an inch from the top and about, 3 7/8 to 4 inches from the top again. To make your, no, it's going to be more than that. It's going to be more like 4 1/4 from the top. And so basically I just cut my slits into my template, and I cut them a little wide so that I could get my pencil in there and trace it onto my shoes that I had cut out. Just make sure you turn your template over the other way on one side so you can get the opposite shoe. And right now I couldn't find my cutting board, so I'm just trying to rig something up here that I can cut my slits into my shoe. So anyway, you're going to, I cut, of course you can do what you want, but I cut for the album, inside the album, I cut the yellow starfish paper, and those were the small ones, and the large ones were with the polka dot paper. So don't get confused by the color paper. So these are the small ones that I'm doing now, but these are for my banner. And so I use the same paper as the one on the large ones on the cover. But the small ones inside my album, I use the yellow paper. So You do want to have some kind of double-sided ribbon because you are going to be kind of flipping that ribbon over. And so you're going to see the other side. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but that was my preference to use a double-sided ribbon. So on the large flip-flops, I used a double-sided satin pink. And on the small ones, I had this kind of a linen type ribbon, but it was, for the most part, double-sided. So, um, anyways, I must have got a line kind of in a weird place. It wasn't lining up in the template right, but yeah, so just to make sure everything's where you want it to be and that you think it looks proportional and it's just a little bit of paper. So if you're not happy with it, just try it again. Definitely don't want flip-flops like on my cover where I'm just not 100% happy with them. um, I mean, you probably wouldn't have said anything if I hadn't said anything, but I don't know, maybe you would. I'm sure there's people out there that draw really well. I'm just not one of those. So yeah, I'm just cutting the slits in both shoes. Eventually I'll just get to the point where I'm showing you one shoe. I don't know why I went and did both of these for time's sake, but I was doing this banner as I go and probably just wanted to make sure people knew to flip their template over to do the other side. Sometimes when you're teaching a class, you have, levels, all levels, and you have beginning levels, and you want to make sure that they understand each little step of the way. So, um, so anyway, I have my slits cut in there, and I'm still not happy with it, I guess. Oh my gosh. Ah, I should have had one shoe done, in this tutorial and then, but I had to get it done. I didn't get all the supplies until like right before I did this tutorial, so I really didn't have that much time to prep. I don't know about you guys, but there's a kind of a ribbon or trim shortage where we're at, and I'm sure it's due to the economic shutdowns, but for whatever reason, we had a heck of a time getting some of the supplies in for this class. So, I mean, some of it I got at the very last minute. So, I'm just taking that 1/4 inch double-sided tape and putting it on towards the center of the slit. So, or onto the inner part of the shoe where the slit is. And then on the upper slip, on the top slit, I'm going to put tape on both sides. And that's just going to hold my ribbon in place until I get everything glued together. And yeah, so got that tape on there. I'm going to burnish it down really good. And I think this is where I decided I'm just going to do one shoe at a time. So thank goodness. But yeah, just get that tape burnished down really good. And then if you want to ink your flip-flops, don't forget to do that now before you put your ribbon on. You don't want to ink your ribbon. Um, on the inking, I know some people are really against inking anything. You can see that I did not ink my entire album. I only inked a few items. And that to me, it just adds a layer of detail and definition that you wouldn't otherwise have. And I think on such a prominent piece as the flip-flops, it's kind of the starring show of the album. And I just wanted it to have a real 3D look. And so I think the ink just gives that another layer of depth and definition. And so, yeah, I mean, maybe if you're not an ink person, don't be afraid to ink here and there on certain items. It's just going to pull that up from out of the page and look like a real flip-flop. Um, so I went ahead and inked in vintage photo. Well, that wasn't vintage photo. the other banner I did vintage photo and the album, but that was what I had on hand at the time, and that was just a coffee color from Stays On, I think. But very similar tone to the vintage photo. So now I'm just putting the ribbon through, and I have the advantage of having long nails, so I'm not trying to brag, but I do, and they just grow. Can't stop them. But I guess my slit wasn't quite long enough, so I'm just cutting it a little bit longer to get that ribbon through. So it's a 1/4 inch ribbon approximately, and double-sided, like I said, and so if you don't have nails and you can't do it that way, then find a little tool that you can that's not going to rip your paper or the ribbon, and that you can kind of tuck that ribbon down in there into your slit. Make sure it's laying flat, that it's not gathered up. So I'm probably just adjusting it so that it probably got gathered up a little bit, and so I'm just trying to make it straight. Burnishing that piece of tape down again. Then just take the backing off and then glue that ribbon towards the center of the shoe. And then you're going to do the same thing with the slip, but you want to curve that ribbon. Do you see how I'm curving that ribbon? I'm not just pulling it straight through and putting it from left to right inside the slit. I'm going to go from right to left inside the slit on this side. Um, so you can see how I'm looping it over like that. So the other side of the ribbon is sticking up and going in through the slot that way. And that's just going to give it that look of a strap. If you do it straight through, it's just not going to have that look. It's not going to look right. So I hope that makes sense. I mean, you saw what I did, so that's better than what I can explain, I think. I don't have the words. And so I'm just going to show you here. I'm just trying to get it ungathered right here, but I will show you in a minute what it's going to look like if you just pull it really tight. It's not going to look right. You want a little bit of looseness there to look like there's room for a foot to fit in there. So if you pull it really tight, you're going to have a paper flat foot to get those shoes on. So yeah, you want it to be up just a little bit, and just kind of eyeball it, what looks right to you. I mean, I'm sure you have your own flip-flops, so just kind of do what looks good. So I think I'm going to go a little bit more. And whoops, dropping things already. Then I'm going to trim that excess ribbon off and tape that down towards the outside of the flip-flop. So now I'm going to do the other side. And sorry if I'm a little off camera here. So I'm just going to stick and it's double-sided, so it doesn't matter which way at this point, but I'm just going to stick my other ribbon onto the other side. And then I'm going to tape it down like I did before. I don't know why. I never noticed before I was off camera on this part. So I do apologize about that. This was a long tutorial. It took me, by the time I was explaining all the things that the class needed to know, it ended up being about a 3-hour video. I'm not the fastest crafter in the world too, so, and I tend to be long-winded sometimes, so, but anyway, so I'm just looping that ribbon around again. So you don't want it straight like that. You want to loop it to the right. This side loops to the right. The other side loop to the left. This side loops to the right. And it's just going to give it that look of a flip-flop of the strap. So this one's a little trickier to get in because you already have that ribbon in there. So I'm just pulling that open a little bit and using my nail to tuck at least enough in that I can grab on the other side and pull it through. So once I have this pulled through, it wants to gather up. It's really hard to get that second one in flat. So I had to work with it a little bit to get that ribbon flat. And then even though I had the flower covering that up, I tried to make that that set of ribbons up there as even as possible. You might want to do a flip flop that's more masculine, doesn't have a flower in the center. So you might want to make sure you really have those ribbons even so it looks like a strap. Let's see. So now, once that's all taped on and done, then you're just going to do your other shoe. And then now we're going to get on to the foam that's on the back. And the reason I chose foam, and I've made these before and just stuck paper on the back, but I don't know what made me think of the foam. You know, I was thinking of flip-flops back in the day. Okay, I mean, I'm old. Okay, so back in the day, we had these cheapo flip-flops that had the foam, like the foam looking stuff on the bottom of the sole. And I mean, or maybe they still make those. I don't know, but anyways, so I thought the craft foam would kind of give that look, you know, of that foam, that foamy bottom of the shoe. And now I'm just going to trace my flip-flop onto the foam. And now you could cut it out with your cutting machine. However, it's going to be the exact same size as the top of your shoe. And you're not going to really see the foam too much. And I wanted the foam to be seen. I wanted it to have that little bit of extra dimension, that little bit of depth. And I wanted everyone to see that that pink foam or that pink sole of the shoe is underneath. And so it's just quicker for me to just trace it out and cut it out than it would be for me to make sure I get the offset, the exact. I'm not very good with the computer side, so for me, this is just quicker. But if you're really good with that and you just want to offset that a little bit, it's not, I mean, I don't even know if it's 16th of an inch. So, and it's going to be more in places than others, and that's okay. Um, just as long as it has that look of of that sole of that shoe peeking through a little bit. And so when you have that cut, just line everything up and glue it on. So I think here I'm just adjusting it a little bit, and I must have got a little snagger piece that was sticking out way too much. So I'm just trimming that off. And you can glue it down and then trim it off too. So um, So one thing that is not going to be shown on camera is that I'm using those little flower for the smaller flip-flops. I'm using those little flowers from the Paper Studio. Those little paper flowers, they have little pearls in the middle. And so I just carefully remove the pearl because those flowers rip really easy. They're kind of a cheapo flower, but they worked for this. And so I just glued those onto the center there where the straps meet. And then I took the pearl brads and glued them onto the center of the flowers. And on the large flip-flops, I used a paper flower also, but it was a different kind. They had gems in the middle, so I just took those gems off and glued those pearlized brads in the center. And the brads, there's a yellow, a blue, and a pink, and kind of a greenish gray color. So on my album, I did the yellow, and um, on the banner, I did the blue. I mean, but they all coordinate with the collection, so you can use whatever color your little heart desires. So I'm not showing that because it's just gluing on a flower and a brad to the center. I think you guys can figure that out. So anyway, so here I'm just trimming up a little bit of excess that I don't want showing around my flip-flop, and then that's it. I'm done. So anyway, you guys, thanks so much for watching and staying with me for this part of the um, tutorial. And um, so I'm going to go ahead and do a walkthrough of the dimensions of the flip outs and the pockets on the album. So if you want to make an album identical to mine, stay tuned for that. Keep watching the video. If you're done, I'll catch you guys next time. So thanks for joining me. Bye.